Okay, we're looking at chapter 12 now. Right. So in chapter 12, no, chapter 13 now. So we're looking at chapter 13. The recommendation was to look at page 743. Oh wait, there must be one prior to this one. Hold on, let me go look for it. Here we go. This is page 743, and this is problems 13 through 16. So this one just said find the future value of a deposit. Okay. All right. So let's do, really just need to do one of these, part A and part B. So on part A, it was simple interest. So we go and we get that formula for simple interest. So it says take the principal and then multiply by the quantity 1 plus RT. Okay. So on that one, the principal was 4,000. 1 plus the interest rate. Now that one has 2.5. So when you change it to a decimal, the decimal, you move to the left twice. So it's plus 0.025 times the number of years, which is 5. So you can just type that in as you see it with the parentheses and all, and it should work. 25 times 5. Okay. And that turns out to be $4,500 at the end of those 5 years. You could also take your 4,000, just times your 0.025 times 5 and get your interest and then add it back to your principal. Okay. Now on part B for that formula, I'm still looking at number 14 for part B, compounded. So I'm going to go to this formula, the 1 plus R over N raised to the NT, and I'm going to plug in the 4,000, plug in my interest rate of 0.025, divide by 1 year raised to the 1 times 5. So it's a little different. It's got an exponent involved. Okay, I can simplify a little bit before I go to my calculator. Because I'm just dividing by 1, I get 1.025. And then I'm raised to the 5th power there. So take your 4,000, 1.025 raised to the 5th power, and I get about $4,525.63 about. So a little bit more. I'm going to do one more what if because I'm not sure whether you're going to be compounding anything other than annually, compounded annually, then n equals 1. So let's do a what if it was compounded quarterly and make sure we can set that up. If compounded quarterly, then n would be 4. Monthly, n would be 12. Semi-annually, n would be 2. So if it's anything other than annually, okay, I want to be sure you know what to do. So if that were the case, I would still go to my compounded formula. I would still have the 4,000, but I'd put in 0.025 for my interest rate. I would divide by 4 there, then raise it to the 4 times 5. Okay. And so I'd get my 4,000, and you can clean that up a little bit before you type it in. So take your 0.025 divided by 4, and that would be 0.00625. And 4 times 5 is to the 20th. And then that would be the same as taking 4,000 times 1.00625 raised to the 20th. So sometimes I'll do a little cleaning up before I go type it in. Some of you, though, have calculators that do a really nice job of setting things up so you can really see that you entered what you should have. Okay, I did something wrong because I got a really high value that I shouldn't have gotten. Shouldn't be that much more than 4,000. I'll try again. 625 raised to the 20th power. Okay, that looks better. I knew it should be around 4,500, and I was getting like 80 something. Okay, so that would be about $4,530.83. So if it's anything other, if it's compounded, you got to look at figuring out your n. And on this particular problem, compounded annually means n equals 1. And then on part A, it was simple interest, so you used a completely different formula for that. Okay. All right, then I've got the next set of problems deals with installment loans. Okay, those are kind of fun. Right, so this was from page 748. You're working on that now, so it'll be a little fresh on your mind. So let's see, they suggested 5 through 9. All right, so her appliances cost $3,795, 6% add-on interest. That's just simple interest. She's going to put $1,000 down. So to get the amounts financed, I'm going to take what the appliances cost and subtract that 1,000 to see how much she needs to finance. So that would be my answer. 2,795 would be the answer to number 5. If I wanted to know the total interest she would have to pay, I could just use my simple interest formula. So the principal would be the amount of her loan times the interest rate, okay, and then times the time. She's doing it for 2 years. So that's an annual interest rate, so make sure you're multiplying by the number of years, okay? So taking 2795 times 0.06 times 2, and I get $335.40. That would be the interest. Okay. Total amount to be repaid should be how much she borrowed plus her interest. Okay. Or if you hadn't done 6, if that weren't one of the questions, you could have just used the simple interest future value formula to get this same thing I'm about to get. Let me write that better. 335.40. So I'm going to take the 27.95 plus the 335.40. So she's going to have to pay back the loan amount plus interest. So that would be the amount she'd have to repay. Okay. The monthly payment depends on how long she's doing this. She's keeping the money for 2 years, and there's 12 monthly payments. So that's 24 monthly payments, right, that she's going to make. So we're going to take the total she owes and divide by 24. The total she's got to repay divided by the 2 years worth of monthly payments. So the 24 payments, and we wind up getting about $130.43 a month. That would be her monthly payment. So the total cost for the appliances, including the interest, you can do the original cost of the appliances plus the interest of $335.40. You can think of it that way. Plus $335.40. And that would be $4,130.40. Okay. Or you could take the total amount she has to repay and add in the part she already paid, and that's going to give you $4,130. Okay. So some of you might think of it one way versus the other, but the answer would be $4,130.40. Okay. All right. And then it suggested you look at 23 through 25. Let's see what those are. Okay, getting the monthly payment again. I'll just do the even one. You can do more of these if you want. So let's look at 24. Find the monthly payment for an add-on interest auto loan. Okay, so the auto loan was for this amount for 3 years and 3.9%. So they're not breaking it all down for me, but ultimately I need the monthly payment required to pay off that loan. Okay, and let's see. So that's, if there was a down payment, they've already done that. So that's the loan amount. So on 24, the loan amount is this. Okay. The interest rate is 3.9%. So that's 0.039. And they're going to take 3 years to pay it off. So let's get the interest on that loan. So the interest they would owe is $1,846, $46.26. So that would be the interest they would owe. So if this was the loan amount, we need to add that interest to it to see the total to be repaid. Okay. Plus 15780. So they will have to pay back the 15,000 business plus that interest. So they'd owe all that back. Okay, so that's like the future value of their loan amount is that much money. Okay. Now we want to get the monthly payment. So they're going to pay this in over 3 years. So you have to think 3 years is 36 monthly payments, right? 3 times 12. So take that $17,626.26, which is the amount of the loan plus the interest, and divide it into 36 equal payments by dividing by 36. And that gives you $489.62, about 62 cents. And that's what they wanted, was the monthly payment. Right? The other two problems are very similar to that. All right, let's go ahead and look at your mortgage payment for fixed rate mortgages. All right, we'll just do a couple of these. So monthly payment, you can use the table, which I have copied, or you can use the formula. So when you're looking at this, all of these have interest rates that are in the table because they have either a 0.0 or a 0.5. And all of the terms look like they would probably be in the table. Okay, so let's do one that's in the table and one that's not. So let's take this guy and use the table. And then let's take one that's not in the table, like, I don't know, like this guy. Well, maybe I should do an even one that's not in the table. How about 10? Okay. And let me do, instead of 11, let me do one that's even so you get some practice. This one doesn't. There we go. That one. We'll do 10 and 12. So on number 10, the interest rate is 6.3%. So I don't have the table to fall back on there. I'm going to have to use that formula. So the formula, you pull it off your formula sheet. It says to take your principal, okay, and then you're going to multiply by R over 12, okay, and then you're going to divide that by 1 minus, let's see, what was it? 1 minus, let me go make sure. I'm kind of tired right now. Let's go back and look for that formula. Let me hide that so I can go back a page. I'm looking for, I need to go back to page 772. Okay. So I'm just going to pull that formula for us, which we can get off of our formula sheet, but it'll be right here somewhere. All right. Where's that formula? There it is, but I want to get the one that's got the letters in it. There it is. So let me just snip that for us and bring it over so we can use it. Okay. This is the formula I was looking for. I'm just grabbing it from right here. All right, so we're going to copy that and bring that in. We'll put it right below this. Let's see if I can get it. Sorry. Okay. Let's see, where did I put it? Did I not copy that? Ugh. Oh well. I go back one more time to my snip. Make sure I copied that. Edit. Copy. And I'm just trying to put it right there. So weird. Try one more time. I think the button is sticking a little bit when I try to do that. Let me see if I got it. Okay, yay, got it. All right, so let's start over again. All right, thanks for your patience. Let's go ahead and look at number 10. On number 10, the interest rate makes it where I can't use the table, so I'm using that formula. So the principal is, this is number 10, is $95,000. And I'm going to multiply that by the interest rate as a decimal, which is 0.063. I'm going to divide that by 12. Okay. And you can do it with the parentheses and everything just to be safe. All right. Then divide that by 1 minus 12 over 12 plus 0.063. And that portion is raised to the 12 times 30 power. Okay. Right now, you need to practice typing this in. Okay. That's really that divided by 12. That's how mine would look. And I can hit enter or not. On mine, I usually hit enter. And then down here, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. That would be 12 over 12.063. And instead of 12 times 30, I'm going to say 360. So you really need to try to enter that and see if you get what you're supposed to get. Okay, and I'm getting $588.02 when I type that in. All right, and that was like 6.3% for 30 years. So if you're doing one of these on the exam and you get one that has the one where you have to use the formula, looking for the table, I put it somewhere. Where's the table? There it is. So I'm looking for the table. So look at 6% for 30 years. And you could take that factor and multiply it by your principal amount, or take the 6.5, and kind of see if you're in the ballpark, right? So it was like a $95,000 loan. So if I take 95 times the 5.99551, I know my amount should be more than that. Should be more than 569. So I can feel like I did that correctly. Well, there's the formula I was looking for earlier. All right, yeah. Okay, let me get rid of that. All right, so that was number 10. Number 10, this information here was right there. All right, now let's do another one. I'm going to do number 12. On number 12, I'm looking at the interest rate and the years are in my table. So I'm going to go to my table and get the factor for that. So my table was back here. Okay, and it was 5 and 10 years, 5%, 10 years. So I'm going to go to 5% in 10 years and pull this factor, 10.60655, 10.60655. Okay. So for number 12, it's 10.60655 was the factor from the table. And the hard part here is when you multiply, you need to multiply by how many thousands that is. You can take that and divide by 1,000. If you have trouble with moving the decimal, you're not sure what to do, just divide by 1,000. It's 195.45. Decimal goes 3 places to the left, 195.45. So multiply by 195.45, and you'll have it. So I'm taking, this is question number 12 that we're doing. So I'm taking the factor 10.60655 times 195.45, and I get 2073.05. So my mortgage payment would be $2,073.05. Okay. All right, let me real quick finish these other two. Getting a little tired here. See if I can move this down a little. I need to get some of this out of the way. Clean it up a little. Okay, get it to a new page. And what we're looking at is the last couple of problems. So in 13.5, it says find the return of a bond investment. And that was the first one they suggested we look at. So for bond investments, it's just simple interest. Total return is just the simple interest formula. So I'm just going to do one of these. Let's do number 40. Well, actually, I'll do two in case you get one with months. So the interest, which is the total return, would be the 5,000 times 0.064 times 10, because it's an annual interest rate. I'm multiplying by 10 years. So 5,000 times 0.064 times 10. And that turns out to be, seems high. I'm going to do it one more time. 5,000 times 0.064 times 10 years. I got $3,200 was my total return. Okay, so that's how much interest I earned on that. All right, now this one's number 42 is a little different. It's still the same formula. I'm still going to put in my principal times my interest rate as a decimal, 0.488. But when I multiply, I need the number of years. It's half a year, isn't it? You know, it's 6/12 of a year. You could divide by 12 to get the number of years. So you could do that first and then just put in a 0.5 or a 1/2 here. Okay, or put it 6 divided by 12 when you get to it. So I'm taking 50,000 times 0.0488 times a half. And I get that the interest earned would be about $1,220. And that would be what they mean. Total return is just simple interest. Okay. And then just one last one. The objective says find the capital gain or loss on stock investments. Let me go to the stock problem. Where are you? There it is. And this is the only one we need. Okay. All right, so we're just going to do that. So let's say we had this chart. Let's just do number 35, I guess. Well, let's do 38. Okay, so on number 38, we want just capital gain or loss. So we have 200 shares, okay, and the purchase price when we bought it, we paid $8.80. Okay. So that 200 times 880 tells me that I bought it for $17.60. Okay. So purchase price. Okay. And then we sold it for those 200 shares. We sold them for $11.30 a share. So we're going to take 200 times 11.30, and that tells us 11.30, 200 times 11.30, and that tells us that we sold them for $22.60. So the capital gain or loss is going to be your selling price, how much you sold it for, minus how much you bought it for. You know, did you make a profit or what? That turns out to be $500 when you subtract those. And that would be since you sold it for more than you bought it, that would be a capital gain of $500. Okay, that's 38. All right, now why don't you look at 36 for a minute? So on 36, We bought 20 shares at $25, which was $50 a share. $500, excuse me. 20 times $25 a share would be $500 to buy it. Okay. And then 20 times 22. So we sold it for $440. So see on that one, 440 take away 500, that's a negative 60. So we lost. It's a capital loss of $60. Okay. Or the capital gain is negative 60. Okay. Okay, that's it.